Yeah, I think there are two things, and then we'll see the design. Okay, so what is design system? Design systems are comprehensive framework. We'll just see in a minute also the design system that are there. Comprehensive framework that extend beyond style guide. So what it will have all of those things. We'll come back to it by including a wide range of design components, patterns, best practices. So it's like an extension of the style guide or the brand guideline. Like if you see, like we saw the Zomato one, right? The Zomato didn't add the components they're using and all of that. Those are part of their design kit or the design system. They just add things about the brand, and that was also for the outside customers, or like for us basically. We are not working for Zomato, so they just want us to know, like if there is if we are using Zomato logo anywhere, what are the things we should consider. So that's it that they have added in the. But usually the style guides are more profound, and the design kits are more like the extension of that. So while style guide focus primarily on visual elements, design system encompass a broader set of guidelines that enhance consistency and efficiency in design and development. So as it says, design and the development also. So what you will have in design system, so all your building blocks, we saw those atom molecules and design the pattern, and then the final design one also, right? So all of those will be part of the design system. Okay, from atom to molecules to your component, then your template, and then your final designs also. So editorial guidelines, color schema, grid definition, icons, image assets. This is all always also part of the style guide also. But you will also have templates, UI templates, modules, components, elements, all of those things. And then when you will also write the documentation about it, right? Like if there, as I was saying, the primary button you are using, when to use it, how to use it. So there will be design principles would be there, implementation guidelines would be there, do's and don'ts, editorial guidelines. How many editorial guidelines? Okay, so usually these are the things that incorporate in the design system. The benefits of using a design system: faster design and development, improved collaboration, consistent user experiences, scalability, brand integrity, and accessibility. As in the same we saw in earlier, right? We saw how the collaboration is important over here. The consistent user experience is the one, because if everybody is using the same design system, we will, or the same template for everything, then there will be consistency in the design. Like if you see the search bar, in a way, like search is a kind of a functionality that gets used in various use cases, and you wouldn't want this search functionality. The template of the search should change for everything as per the product. So it becomes that is why it is saying consistent user experiences, not the UI only, but the user experience. Those template also will get used uh, across the design system. Like if you see Google, they have search bar in almost every product, but it looks and works the same way. Let's see the material design system. Okay, they have the definition for everything. Let's not go with these things. Let's just go to material design system. So now there is a material 3, which is generation 3 of this design system. The material 2 design system is also available, but now we usually use the latest and the greatest. So let me see. I think this is also material design 3 kit itself. So this is what I was telling. You have to go thorough in these things. We'll just download their. We'll just see the few screens over here, and then we'll dive into their style guide. Sorry, design kit. So let's see. We get started. They've added what is material design. We have over here also. The material design is a design system built and supported by Google Designers developer. Okay, this is the regular stuff. It enables personal, adaptive, and expressive experiences from dynamic colors and enhanced accessibility to foundations for large screen layouts and the design tokens. So, as this is a very big design system, they basically takes care of all types of screens. Okay, from websites to apps to the TV and everything. Okay, so they are here. They have added foundation customization, styles, and components. Okay, go through this. Okay, this is kind of a index itself. It will take you to the final pages. Let's just see their style in the colors. So let's just see this particular video.
Material 3. This video will introduce the purpose of color and Material 3's algorithmic color system, or dynamic color. By the end of this video, you'll understand the value and function of dynamic and how it differs from past color systems. Color is a powerful design tool and part of the material system along with styles like typography and shape. In products, colors and the way they're used can be vast and varied. An app's color scheme can express brand and style. Semantic colors can communicate meaning, and color contrast supports visual accessibility. In many design systems of the past, designers manually picked app colors to support the necessary range of color applications and use cases. But Material 3 has a dynamic color system, which doesn't rely on hand-picked colors. Instead, it uses color algorithms to generate beautiful, accessible color schemes based on dynamic inputs like a user's wallpaper. This enables greater flexibility, personalization, and expression, all while streamlining work for designers and teams. Welcome to Color and Material 3.
So basically you can basically go through all of this documentation. If I go through it will take a lot of time because they're talking a lot of thing about the colors, how to use it, when to use it and all. For the primary color, for the secondary, like it is in the container it says, but the colors that you should use, it is all documented over here. Then how the system works, they usually starts from the concept of the paper. Okay, if the paper is touching the ground, how it will look. If there is another paper on top of a particular paper, like screen on screen, what should be the shadows and hues that you should use while you are designing from the material design standpoint. All of them have actually added, and how you can customize all of. So this is the new way they are using, like tone based surface. So now when you change the theme of your OS or web, okay, the overall product also gets changed. If you must have seen on their Samsung Tab or Android phones, whenever you make a wallpaper change, the overall UI gets uh, any particular wallpaper or any particular color that they have, it always looks beautiful, it always looks, and it always looks functional. And to make this, even they are providing the options to change the color, how to the functionality, the visual aesthetic, the contrast and all works for all the components. That is what the material 3 is about. Like material 2, it wasn't you were not allowed to change the color of the theme of your application. But over here, the material 3, if you have the new mobiles, as in new Android OS, which is I think 13 itself, 13 or 14, I think it is running today. So if you have that, you can actually experience this. Okay, to make this all work, like all your settings pages, all your like profile pages, all the pages, it actually gets infused. All the colors or the theme get infused into the widgets that you are using or iconography that you are seeing everywhere. So to handle this particular design system they have created, and they are basically telling us also how to use it, and also that your app also, if it is designed based on a material design 3 guidelines, it will also respond to those color changes. Usually the third party app do not follow these things. So if you would see Facebook app remains as it is. Your let's say even Zomato, Swiggy, and all of these apps remains as it. They do not change their themes and all. But there are some of the apps like usually I have seen in iOS. I don't remember any example from Android, but if you have seen some of the iOS actually take advantages of the OS guidelines, the colors theory, the color themes that they are there, and they actually responds to all the changes that you usually do with the OS, all of those things. But our usually normal apps just go from light mode to the dark. But if you see Instagram app on iOS, it changes drastically. If you are using at night, only your images gets illuminated. All the other components on your Figma, on your Instagram actually gets dimmed out, right? If you have seen this particular thing, it is infused in the OS itself, not only on the Instagram app, but on the OS. What I'm trying to say is, like, if we go to Figma, and where's the Figma app that we were designing? There are a lot of things in the screen itself. Figma components. Okay, let it be. The Figma, the Instagram app that we were designing earlier. In that, what happens? Let's say if this is a Figma only, and this is the image, the only image gets illuminated, it gets brightened, and not the content that is there on the other, like the name of the person, the picture of that particular person, profile image, the comments and all of those things, or the whatever the content that are written over there. Okay, so this is again based on the guidelines that is provided by the iOS OS itself. So we were seeing this material design library. Let me open the material design 2 library also. Okay, let's go to material 2. It's tell you about some of the guidelines, which is what are the changes that is happening. So first thing we saw earlier, like was about the colors. Like the colors, the primary change is the color theming. Now, as I said, as soon as you change the color theme of your app in the settings, okay, the overall look changes from home screen to your buttons on in your settings page and all of those. That wasn't earlier available in the material 3, material 2, but now it is like a new update that is coming with material. The another major change is like the cards that you used to use. See layout, pixel density, component behavior. Let me go to components, and if you see cards, there's some interactive demo. Let me get yeah, this is the one. If you see the elevation part in material 2, as soon as the material, the elevation is between, like, let's say gray is the background and this card is just touching just near to the background. So like if you see over here, this gray thing is like, if it's a side view, it's a black line. Okay, and this card is just above that black line. Okay, this is a side view. Okay, this is the front view. Okay, we see it from the front side or maybe top side, so it is looking like this. But when these cards get elevated, like if this cards goes from here to here, okay, look at the shadow, how the shadow is casing like that, right? It's not hard, there's no hard shadow like this. It is much more spread out on the background. So in the material 2, the elevation or the card that you used to use was had that philosophy. Okay, so something which is touching the ground and something which is, let's say, 4 dp, 8 dp, 16 dp, and likewise it would be in their material design system, but you usually do not have the colors in a way like to show the card is upfront or not. The change that is in material design 3, now there is no longer cards. You go to components, like cards are there, but the elevation is represented in a different way. Like if you see, this is the elevated card, field card, and outline. Let me see, somewhere I have seen their elevation, the guidelines. The hard thing about them the guidelines is, like, once you read, it's very difficult to find out the same page again. Now if you see the difference, like in material 2, it was about the position of the card, okay, with respect to the background over here. Like if it is back, like just touching the background, then it is hard. If it is elevated from the background, or there is a distance between the card and the background, if you want to showcase like that, then there was a shadows. Okay, so it's like it can be a pop-up that is coming on to your earlier screen on top of it, so you want to have some distance between those screens itself. So okay, where you how this is how you used to show. With the material 3, the shadow is gone basically. So now if you see, if the card is touching the background, it has some, let's say, some brightness. Let's say this brightness is, let's say, 99. As soon as the card lifts from the background, it becomes like a bit darker. Okay, so you can see this is bit darker than this one. So this is how, the in a minimalistic way, the material 3 showcases the uh, proximity from the background. It was here itself. Okay, so this is level 2 and this is level 5, but in material 3, the level 2 is bit darker, and the level 5 is much dark. It surfaces through all the components. Now you no longer usually show shadows to represent that it is next to the background or something like that. So it is in this particular way. So now if you see, the white is the background. When it is up over here, it is a it is a bit gray. And when it is, let's say, if you want to have some another element on top of this particular screen, so there is a black overlay, as well as this particular color is basically matching with this gray or bit darker than this particular gray. So this is the change in the elevations that they have. So you can see over here the shadow, they are also representing in shadow, but for some of the CTAs itself, like the fab icon is still holding the shadow, and as soon as you hover around it, it changes. So these are the cosmetic changes basically that has been happening from the material 2 to material 3. But all of those things, like 44 pixel to be the minimal tappable height, all the other guidelines remains the same, as in they have just taken it from the material 2 to material 3 itself. So okay, in styles they're talking about colors. So I would suggest you, in your own sweet time, you would just go through this colors and all of those things. I'll show you how to create this color system, the plugins that they have. So the color row, they have profoundly written everything, like where to use the primary, how to use it. Once you know these things, whatever I'm going to show you, that gonna make sense for you. Otherwise it will be like the styles only, they will be there in your in your Figma. So if you want to quickly go through, let's go through some of the concepts. So if you see over here, I'm just going through the style concept. Okay, so primary, it shows like on the background how the text would be. On primary, it says basically on this particular background how the color will look like in a way. Then there is a primary container. On primary container is like the darker value and the lighter value. They are basically, let's not go over here. That will be lot confusing for these things without reading all of these things. So where to start? It's very big basically, this overall material design. And on the IntelliPad Figma, sorry, the presentation, it is just giving you the overall overview of this thing. Okay, what is foundation, what is styles, what is component. But I don't want to just tell you those things. I think I see the value in that. If I take you through these things, then it will be a very long session, and there will be a lot of reading in a way. You might get bored. So I would suggest you go through this concept at your own time, and just hover your eyes over this concept. If you already read, okay, then only you will get to know what is primary, what is on primary, like the concept I was telling you. But then I thought, okay, it will be too much for this particular session. But it is very easier to understand. They have added everything. I don't want to ruin these things just by narrating the same thing to you, and saying what you are seeing on the screen itself. Okay, there is nothing to clear any particular concept about it. This is how the design system or the design kit needs to be, and the documentation has to be. In any particular company, you will usually found this particular documentation about their style guides and all of these things. Secondary brand, in some way, like in Amazon Pay, I am creating the design system. So I usually write down all of this documentation. Okay, when to use any particular button, which button to pair with the other ones, and in what cases it should do. All of this thing you have to write down. So as a UX UI designer, your job is also to document all of this. But to document these things, you first need to know, okay, how other teams are doing, like how material design owners are doing it, how iOS design owners are doing it. That is why I'm suggesting you to just go through it. In this course, I can just provide you the overview of it. So let's just go through the design system itself. So I have over here, hide this particular panel. So you can see how profound it is. Like they have added each and everything. Okay, from get started, you can just go through all of these things. This not only just you are just going through this. If you are creating your app based on the material 3 themes, theming, or it is also developers are also using this particular the Android development environment, it becomes very easier for them, and it becomes better for us to use all the features that Material 3 provides to have it in the in your app itself. So like all of these things, the table of content is over here also, like, or they have added in the pages. So let's go through some of the important stuff. So this Material 3 icons. These are not the only icons that there. I think they have a lot of icons, and in over here they have the plugin also, Material Design. So if you're using this particular plugin and you're designing your app, then you just need to if you need a particular icon, you don't have to redesign it in a way. Let's say, for example, let's say add to drive. If your app is allowing this particular functionality, you don't have to create this thing. Click on it and the icon is over there. You can just, it's a quick way to go ahead, right? You don't want to just reinvent the Material 3 design icons. Of course, you can those icons as you would required, but then it becomes a different icon itself. Why I'm saying different icon? Let's say if you're using the same icon, let's say for example, what was there? Let's say this anchor icon. Okay, if you created this icon, and if your developers are also working in the Android 3 theming environment, like developing for Android app, developing an Android app using the Material, then they don't even have to add these assets in their development environment also. They just can write this like they can just write the name of this icon in their code, and the same, the Material Design 3 icon, the same icon will represent over there. So you can see how it becomes lighter also. It does not, they don't have to add this particular file. Same for the iOS. For iOS, it's this SF symbols. So if you are using SF symbols, again, developer do not need to get the assets of this particular image. Like they don't have to add the SVG or PNG of this particular icon. They can usually just, so here it is basically these SF icons, like the San Francisco font icons, which is basically iOS uses. So if you are creating an app for iOS, and let's say if you are going to use the search icon, share icon, okay, you, even if you can add it in your design, you can add this particular, you can download the SF icon tools and add this in your design. The developer does not has to get that asset from your Figma file. That is the best part of it. Like they can just write this particular name of this particular icon in their development environment, and boom, they will see that particular icon. Okay, so as a designer, you don't have to manage these icons in any which way. So if there is animation, or also if SFUI, if the Apple has added for the share icon, that animation will also get added to your app without developer writing anything in a way. So most of this thing becomes easy if you are developing for a specific platform and you are using those the platform specific icons. This is just a I understood from my experience while working on the Material and the iOS, as well as the what their guidelines is. But let's say if you make a tweak to this particular share icon, let's say if you want to make this edges also rounded, then it becomes a different icon. And if you want this particular icon, the rounded one that you created, if you want that icon to be displayed in your app, they have to add the PNGs of 1x, 2x, 3x sizes in their development environment. Okay, otherwise they don't have to. So it's better to use these icons as it is, if there is not much of a gain that you will be having by changing these icons. Same for the Material Design icon. So this is about the icons. Yeah, these are the as we saw, these are the layouts grid for different devices from like this is for the website itself. The responsive component they have given from 0 to 599 dp, how the grids will be. So whichever component, let's say if you add it over here in a way, and there is another component at the bottom, when you expand the screens, like for this is from the development point of view. Okay, it will always get to this 4 columns, and like this is the, here there are 4, though here also there are 4, and this will go sit next to it. So this is how it will flow in a way if you're using their grid design system. And these are the media queries, basically the screen width. Okay, if the screen width is below 600, it will show up in this way. If it is more than 600 to 893, 839, then it will show up in this particular way. So this is how the, so if you are using, if you are creating website, do use these grid system, I would say blindly in a way. You don't have to reinvent a grid system basically to just start working on at the start of the project. You can use these ready-made grids. You can design the particular app or website as per these guidelines, and it will be easier for development also. It will be faster and it will be more efficient also, because a lot of assets will get saved because they don't have to add it in the system. And you can use these components as well. So they have given a very profound library. They show how to use it and how everything sets on the screen itself. Let's see the styles. Style is basically the textile and the colors. Okay, and then there is the elevation, and you can see it for the. Okay, in material 3 also they have added shadows. Okay, I have to see the guidelines again in a way, because I was under impression that a shadow is not for everything. Like they're using colors over here, it says. This is for material 2. I think there is something, either this is not updated or we are getting it wrong. Okay, but they are, again, over here it says they are retaining the shadows in the light environment, but in the dark environment the shadow doesn't work, right? Because everything is black. So it is always the brightness that works if there is a elevation in the elevation in your screen. And all of these colors usually get into your style guide, and you can create your own style guide also. So I think this part will help you when you are creating your poster or application. Let me show you how. Let's say if you have a new, so here I had created some of the styles, but let me just delete this thing. Delete style, delete style. Okay. So let's say, let's just consider there's nothing page also. Let me just copy this thing and paste it over. Okay. Now we have a very clean page. What is this? Oh, this is nice created. Okay. So we have a clean Figma new file. Let's consider that. There is a plugin which is says material theme builder. Okay, you would get this if you read this guideline also. I think on the get started page somewhere there, here they have added an, oh here, no, this is symbol material u Figma plugin. Yeah, material u Figma plugin. This is which basically creates a theme for you. Okay. Basically, it creates a token for you, design token. The design tokens are basically called as like this: the display, headline, all of this thing, the colors. If I open all of these things like system colors, reference colors, key colors, primary, secondary, tertiary. Here, what they have given is basically this particular primary color. Okay, so you can see in their flows, like you can see over here, they have used this theme colors itself. I'm going to show you how to create your own one. Okay, very simple. You just have to click on this particular plugin. It opens up this particular screen. This is again created by Google itself. So it says create a theme. When you will be provided with this particular screen, there is a, it says start with an image to generate a color scheme. Okay, so let's say if you want to start a color, like it can create a color theme from the image that you have. So let's say, let's take some image. Okay, let's get that image from Unsplash, or maybe you find something interesting on Dribble also. You can use that. For now, let me just search for an UI. Let's see what comes. Okay, let it be. Let me just take any particular picture that would come. Let's see this one. Let's see if I like this one, and I've added over here. Actually, I would want this as a file. Okay, let me export, put it in the download. Okay, I can delete this one. I'll just open the theme builder again, choose image. I'll choose this image, and you can see it will create a material design theme for me. Let's say I can add, if I want, I can add color. If I want, yeah, let me update. Once I update, it will create all the layers for you, as in all the design tokens. It's getting created. It's actually getting created over here. Earlier there was nothing, right? So here it is getting created. So all the textiles has also got created here. All the material style, like the colors and all, also have got created. Let me just try this on the material design kit itself. Let's see if this works. Okay, I'll go to some, let it be in style. Okay, let me click on material theme builder, choose an image. Let me choose a different. Let's choose this image. This also have interesting colors. And if I update, let's see if it updates this particular file or not. Hitting variables. Okay, now my system has become slow. I think I'm low on battery also. I'll just choose to this. So usually it takes some time to update all of these things because it's a big file and this file has some unsaved changes. I don't know if it has changed. Oh, it has actually. There has been changes. Okay, let me go to utility. Yeah. You can see they are in blue. Earlier it was. So now if you are using these tools, you can actually change the colors. Even the text also you can change. I'm not able to find it. Earlier I had done the text change as well. And then basically you can export it if your developer wants it in any uh, particular environment they are using. Let's say Flutter we are using, or they want the web CSS. All of this thing they you can directly give them and they can add it there in their environment, and it's a ready to use. Oh, okay, over here it's a font. So if I want, let's say what happened over here, let's say if I'm using enter font. Okay, let's say my company is using enter font, so let's use that. Something wrong with the intro of with this plugin also. And let me try with different image. Achha, let's take the same one. Let's take this one itself. Let's just see if it changes. It's having some bland. Achha, let's go to dribble. Let's go to dribble, and let's take this one. Okay, let me save this image on my system, and let's just give this particular image to work on. I've added it. Okay, it has given some interesting color palette. I've changed text to enter, and now I'm hitting update. Again, it will take some time for to update the complete library. Why you would do this? Basically, then it becomes easier, no, to borrow this style guide in a way. Like now you can see, like it became orangish. I think now it has updated. Something is happening, updating stack, layer, dark, and all of those things. It's basically working. So once it is done, basically you can directly go through buttons. You can grab these buttons. You can add it in your Figma file, and it will look like you're using material theming also. This style guide is ready made for you, and trust me, it will be very easier for developers to use all of this thing. And it's like a head start, because you have, for you also, you have this particular design kit with you, and for developer also you can just export it to any particular developing environment, and they are also ready to use. Okay, I think yeah, it has been changed. So now you can see you have everything basically. You want to use fab, you want to use icons, outline, this tabs and all. It is all, and that has a theme, right? The image that we had chosen, like this one, it has taken some of the image, some of the colors. You can add the color on your own also. Like you do not have to always start from the image. You can basically click and change these colors, and based on it, it will give you the complete material design library, material design kit. I'll show you the Apple design guidelines also. I'll tell you again, go through those guidelines, iOS design guidelines. Once you go through these guidelines, basically it will elevate you to the next level. You are no longer, you cannot call yourself a beginner in the UX field, UX UI field, because you know all of these guidelines. Most of the experienced one also do not know some of the guidelines. Like you don't have to by heart all of these things, but knowing it is better. Okay, what to do for the dark mode, and how to lay out your colors, and what do's and don'ts. All of these things are over here, and then you can go to their resources, and from resources you can actually download the Figma or Sketch, whichever you're working. If you're creating the app icon, then you can use this particular file. And nobody works in Keynote actually. I don't know who uses Keynote templates. I don't know, but they usually create this Keynote library as well. I used to do wireframing in the Keynote because it provides good animation, and it's easy to create wireframes. I don't know why they provide Sketch files than Figma ones. But you'll always find the Figma files in the on Figma itself, like over here, if you type iOS 18, of course, say this is by Apple, so you can get it from here as well. You just need to go inside, a copy of this file, copy of, and here it's a profound complete library. So if you're adding the action sheet, you don't have to design it, right? It's there itself. Copy and you can use it in your design, and you can extend it to the whatever the screen height that you have, and it will always maintain the bottom dist. So it take care of the safe design passage also. Like you don't want to put your designs at this particular on this particular place, because you have a home indicator over here. When I say home indicator, is like that particular bar, okay, which comes at the bottom. So it's become easier for you to follow the to use all of these things in your design. And once you do get this particular elements in your design, it's become very easier for the developers also to develop. All right, I think I would suggest go through material design, Apple human interface guidelines, and also you can see some of the design system which is and the design system, which is also you can use, or not here. I can search over here. A&T design. This is also open source, so you can take design inspiration from here, or you can use this tweak this particular design system and can use. Then there is a Microsoft Fluent. I haven't read much about Microsoft Fluent, but you guys can take it. I haven't worked in Microsoft environment. I earlier used to work for their Lumia mobile. So they had another design system at that particular time, their tile UI and all, but this is the new one, I think. So if you are interested, you can go through this, and that's it actually.